Clean stall day! Yay! Clean stall day! Y'all are laying in it already because it's big and fluffy. Hi, ladybug. You're so clingy lately. You are so clingy lately. I know. I'm filthy dirty. I groomed 3 goats and cleaned 2 stalls. I'm dirty. You don't care. Let's go say hi to the rest of the herd. Why are you guys hanging up here? I know it's a beautiful day out. You should be out in the pastures. Not hanging here making the stalls dirty. Bobby Socks is hanging around again too. As is Tonka. I don't have the little dogs down because I was doing grooming and I didn't want them running around where I couldn't watch them with the little chicks around. So little dogs are missing out a little bit, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll take them out in a little while and I'll let them run free when I can watch them. You're going to chew on my fingers, huh? So I don't know why the girls are hanging up here. They've got all this beautiful pasture and it's absolutely gorgeous out. So they're literally just hanging up here because, I don't know, I suppose they're trying to... Oh, what do you think, Ren? You think that's funny? Yeah, you think that's funny? So I guess they're hanging up here just so that they can make the stall dirty. And then they'll head out into the pasture. There's an absolutely gorgeous breeze. Oh my gosh, it is fantastic out here. I could stay out here all day. It would be nicer if I was staying out here and not working, but I'll take it. So Denali and Sock Monkey and Lotus all got groomed today. They look gorgeous, of course, you know, if I do say so myself. It was a nice, easy grooming session, you know, no baths, no tangles or very minimal tangles. Sock Monkey's coat was looking kind of rough, right? I don't know if you caught in the last couple of videos, I was getting worried about her coat because it was looking like it was all tangled up and matted. And as it turns out, yeah, I mean, she had a couple of twists and turns. You smiling, Lotus? But not really anything too terrible. So no complaints. They were all pretty fast and easy grooms, which is nice. Oh, we went through the rotation of the goats again, and we'll get back to the beginning, which timing-wise works out really well. So beginning of August, I'll be grooming what I kind of dubbed my show string, right? Misty, Persephone, Ren, although Ren is technically not my show string. She's just in that mix because we were evaluating her for that. And so that's the beginning of August. The next time they'll be due up will be sort of mid to late September. And the show is in beginning of October. So they will be in really good shape. And I will be able to almost bathe them on schedule as opposed to like an extra rotation, which is wonderful. Sometimes life works out. Not always, but sometimes. What else is going on? We're getting ready to do our annual vaccines. So I had the vet out. Of course, you know, we had our annual vet visit and they got their rabies shots back at the end of May. And now they're due for their annual normal vaccines. These are the vaccines that the babies get. I do that. It's an interesting dilemma, right? A lot of breeders and some of the science supports you should vaccinate the moms while they're pregnant, right before they're giving birth, so that sort of that vaccine passes into the kid. And that is backed by science. Like there are studies about that and how it passes immunity to the kids. Why don't I do that? There's a little bit of me that feels like, you know, I don't really want to introduce chemicals, even vaccines, and I believe wholeheartedly in vaccines for people and animals. My philosophy for me is if it exists and it's going to be something to protect me, stick me. So shingles, COVID, you name it, I've had it, right? And I continue to get it, flu, right? All of it. Pneumonia, I've been vaccinated for everything. And in fact, I've been vaccinated for a few extra things because sometimes I have to travel to countries where you need it. So I'm a full proponent of it. But my belief with the goats, and it could be completely wrong. It's sort of, up for debate in terms of what the specifics are, and depending on who you talk to, what vet, what science book, what study, you could go either way. So rather than vaccinate my does while they're pregnant, same way I don't want to worm them while they're pregnant, because that introduces chemicals into their systems that do pass to the kids. I vaccinate them in end of July, August, where we're looking to get them pregnant September, October. That means that, while the does are protected, that vaccine has assimilated itself. There's not going to be an immune boost during a pregnancy. The babies are going to be born, they get colostrum from their mom, which gives them natural immunity to a ton of things. And then they get vaccinated themselves. And I believe, again, this is my belief, it is not a fact. I have some science to back it up, but I also know of a lot of science that says the opposite. So take it with a grain of salt. But I believe that vaccinating the kids, at 3 to 4 weeks old, and then giving them their booster, 2 to 3 weeks later, provides much more protection for them than relying on it passing through the placental barrier as a potential, immunity from their moms. Again, not a fact. Just my practices based on what I have done from my research. You have to do what's best for you. And I run a small herd. So I'm not talking about, 50 kids running around. I have 10, maybe, sometimes less than that I can watch, that I can lay hands on every day, that I can check on, so that if there were to be anything wrong, I'd be acting swiftly. If you have a larger herd, that's not always possible. It's also not always realistic. So different practices make sense for different herd management styles, different herd sizes. None of them are right or wrong per se. They have to be right for your herd. So I just, a little bit of a reiteration of just a reminder, I guess, that the things that I do work for my herd in my state, with my vegetation, with my weather, with all the things. It may be different for your herd. It may be different because you're in a different state and you have a different weather pattern. It may be different because you have more animals, less animals. It may be different just because you prefer something different, and that is perfectly fine. If it works, that's all that matters. If it doesn't work, well, now you have some information from a herd that runs like mine, and you can use that to make decisions, to make some changes if you choose to. Here comes my Emma. You're moving and grooving, lady. I know. Hi. Hi, sweet girl. Emma, for those that don't know, most of you know, she's one of my OGs. She's one of the 2 very first goats I got, Fanta being the other. They started this whole journey. Emma is JC's mom. She's are you peeing for me? Thank you. She's created quite the herd, and yeah, she's my old lady, and I love her. But yeah, I think that's it for now. We'll let these guys enjoy their clean stall, mess it up so that I have to clean it up again. And I am going to get to the next thing, because as always, until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.